Welcome to After Dark at the Fixed Ops Roundtable, featuring Katrina Ness, Vanessa Collins, and Ted Ings. This episode is brought to you by BG Products, partners beyond products. And now for your hosts, Ted Ings, Vanessa Collins, and Katrina Ness.
Good evening, everyone. Happy Monday, and welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable's After Dark show. The gang is finally back together, and tonight we have two very special guests, Erick Jauregui and Corey Smith.
Thank you for having us.
Welcome, everyone.
Welcome.
Yeah, we got the team from EasyCare, Corey and Erick. Welcome. Glad to have you here. Vanessa, happy very much to have you here. And look who else is here tonight. Katrina Ness has returned. Katrina, welcome.
Thank you. It's been a while. What has it been, like 3 weeks since we've had our last After Dark show all together? So it's good to be back. We've missed it very much, and we miss all the beautiful comments rolling in and audience engagement. So good to be back.
Yes, and Tony Owen says that the heavy hitters are here, and he sure is right about that. Joshua Taylor, good evening. So, Katrina, we are live tonight, right?
Yes, we are.
All right, so we have a lot to unpack tonight. Finding Katrina's whereabouts for the last few weeks. And we have a lot of things to discuss tonight about Chicago as well. And Erick and Vanessa will help us with that. We'll help Corey and I with that. And of course, our dear friend, Shawn Butler, a lot of news over the weekend on his passing. So again, feel free to chat in, everybody. And we got a lot to talk about tonight. First of all, Vanessa, we have another event coming up, and it's going to come up before we know it. Here we are, beginning of June, but this one's coming up in September. Do you want to tell us a little bit about this one?
For sure. So our next event, Summer Palooza, coming up in September, but as always, they always sneak up on us and come up very fast. It is happening September 16th through the 19th. As always, 4 days, all virtual and online. You can get your complimentary tickets right now at fixedopsroundtable.com, and stay tuned because we have some exciting content coming for our Summer Palooza. It's going to be so exciting.
Yeah, congratulations also to Robert Migliaccio, who won the Apple Vision Pro at the last event. And a lot of people reaching out on that, and a lot of companies have reached out on that. So we have actually a really good follow-up coming for September on the heels of that. Corey and Erick, welcome. And I've seen you guys a lot the last couple days. So much happening. And first of all, our condolences to Shawn's family, Shawn Butler. And, Corey, I know that, I saw you on your podcast, and you and I talked by phone over the weekend as well. The tribute that you were putting together for him with your help as well.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to doing that. I think it's, he was everywhere, and I think we should celebrate that. It's unfortunate he's no longer with us, but I think we can certainly keep his memory alive with, the things that we've, collected over the years. He's been on your shows numerous times and various other podcasts. I think it'd be good to share that with the rest of the people that knew him and his family too.
Erick, he was a big part of Service Drive Live on that Sunday morning. I got to visit yesterday morning, bright and early, and meet a lot of the folks there. But talk to us about Shawn Butler and your experience with him.
Shawn Butler was awesome. He was a ton of energy. He was a person who taught me another side of how people care about you. And it was, instead of slowly and gradually trying to teach you, he'd tell you right on the spot exactly how it was. No sugarcoating it, nothing. And what I learned from that is this person wants me to hurry up and grow and not make any more mistakes. And I loved his attack on it. It took me a couple days to learn it. We spoke over the phone a short time after one of the episodes. And he goes, the reason I do that is because I want you to grow and I want you to become better. And I was like, wow, I never heard it that way. And that's the Shawn Butler. And one of the things that I thought about over the weekend, because it's normal for us to become upset when we lose a family member. It's normal for us to go through some time frame. And I said, I told myself very quickly, I said, we lost a leader. And I said, no, he will always remain a leader in our industry. And I kept that thought in my head the entire weekend. I said, no, it's important to say it out loud. He will always remain a leader in our industry.
Yeah, and Corey, not just a leader, but a very stubborn one as well, right? And we learned that. But nobody's stronger than him as well, in what he does, right? So, Corey, I know you didn't see that close up.
Yeah, 100%. He was, very, very good leader. He led. I mean, we had many conversations where he taught me quite a bit on how he led and how he wanted other people to grow into certain positions. He would tell them, "Hey, if you do this, this, and this, I'll get you here," right? And so he was very loyal to his people, and I think his people were very loyal to him. We talked about it on Sundays that he always cooked, barbecue, right? Every month, at the end of every month, there was a barbecue, right? And in Shawn fashion, he waited until the end of the month before he left this place and went someplace else, right? So I think that's something that I'm always going to remember, is that he's just, that part of him was giving back to people as much as he could.
Welcome to everybody joining us. Robert Miggs, Tully Williams is with us. Taylor Maddox is Shawn's daughter, and Taylor had a lot of phone calls with Robin over the weekend, and you're right. He told us he was going to fight until the very end, and he put up a very strong fight.
Yeah,
and for those of us who had the great opportunity to meet him and spend some time with him, nothing like that. Robin and I were kind of joking the last couple of weeks. We know we're very, very tough, but we were near the end. It was like there's maybe a few hours left, and this was like a week ago, right? And on Thursday, I think Robin said to me, he's probably waiting till the end of the month, right? Like a true dealership fixed ops person. And sure enough, that's when it happened, right at the end of the month on Friday late afternoon. So Taylor, our hearts and prayers are with you and with your family as well. Vanessa, what are some of the things that you remember? Because there were so many shows that Shawn would be in on the comments, or he'd be coming in on, and we don't see those comments tonight, and we're all at a loss for not having him here.
I remember one of the times we were supposed to have him live, and he wasn't feeling too well. But despite him, and that's when his wife came on, Robin. But despite him, not feeling well, he still hopped in on the comments and continued to support us no matter what. And I will really miss seeing him in the comment section, seeing him live on the After Dark show. He was always so sweet and never really made things about himself, straight to the point, loved automotive fixed ops, and that's what he wanted to talk about. And he was also very grateful, for everything, the website and the donations, and he took it all, and he was so grateful and just an amazing person from the short time that I was able to know him.
And Katrina, I know Sarah and I interviewed him recently, about a month ago, maybe 4 or 5 weeks ago for the show. And we did a couple interviews. I think he was on 4 segments. And I wanted to make sure that we talked about business, okay? And what a opportunity for young people that automotive would be. So we didn't really, put his illness in the forefront. We talked about the opportunities in automotive. And I know, Katrina, you're getting a chance to experience, and Vanessa is as well, some of that right now. And I think you have an internship this summer, right? In automotive.
Yes, I do. I'm currently in Maryland, Ocean City, and I'm working for the Pohanka Automotive Group. So I'm so excited. I had my first day today, and it was wonderful. And going back to Shawn Butler, what I remember from him is dedication, and that will carry on with me whenever I think I'm like not motivated enough. I'm like, Shawn was driving hours and hours and hours to work every single day, staying in his RV, going to work up until he was very sick, and he was still going strong. And he had so much dedication, so much strength. And I'm going to think about that for the rest of my life. And he was really an amazing person.
And Vanessa, you're doing an internship this summer also. Tell us about that if you don't mind.
Yes, of course. So I am in Chicago, and I am interning for CDK Global as a product marketing intern for the fixed operations side of it. So super exciting.
Well, I'm going to hear a little bit about Northwood tonight. We want to learn a little bit more about that. We also want to learn a little bit more about EasyCare. And it's been a while since, Corey, since we've had you and Eric, I think it was back in January on the regular, on the big event. So I know the ladies have some questions tonight for you about what you do at EasyCare. So with that, I'll just turn it over to them.
Yeah, so I'll start off with the first one, and very basic, but give us a rundown of what EasyCare is.
Well, EasyCare is a provider of products for dealerships, for vehicle service contracts, ancillary products that we offer to their customers, helping protect their vehicle beyond the manufacturer's warranty. Part of what else we do is we're a full-fledged partner. What that means is we help to support the dealer in anything they could ever want or need when it comes to sales training, F&I training, and what Eric and I do for the back end of the house is fixed operations.
Wow.
Wonderful.
That's
And
awesome.
fixed operations, is that fairly new to EasyCare, or how did that come about, Corey?
So in early 2020, was it 2021? I built a PowerPoint and got in front of Tony Wandering and showed him my PowerPoint, said, "You need to hire me." And he loved the idea, and he had a little bit more to add to it. He said, "Well, looking at your resume, you're in broadcasting, so I want you to do a podcast. I want you to be our trainer, and I want you to do this, this, and this." I'm like, "Okay." And it's grown from where it was when I started, which was just me, to now myself, Eric, and Jerry Weldon. And before the end of this year, we're going to hire 1 or 2 more trainers to help cover the rest of the United States, to help support the rest of our teams in the North and East regions.
That's awesome.
And Corey, your background is in automotive and retail, I guess, right?
Yeah, so I started working in the automotive sector in 1998 as a service advisor. Worked in retail right up until 2016. And that's when I got out of the retail business and started selling my own fluids to dealerships, and then worked for JD Powers for a little bit, and led my way to working for EasyCare.
Ladies, I'll be quiet. I want to ask any more questions. I'm sorry.
You're fine, Ted. So our next question, and I think you touched slightly on this, but if you could elaborate, is EasyCare only for dealers or for customers as well?
So that's a great question. We keep it strictly for dealers, and it's for independent shops as well as factory or what's the word I'm looking for here? Franchise dealers. Thank you. So that's what we try to keep it to just those 2 pieces. But it's not just automotive. We're into, as Eric knows, we're into marine, power sports, and RV as well.
Awesome.
That's broad. And I mean, makes sense. It's all kind of mobility, same kind of transportation type thing. My next question for you is fixed ops training important in 2024 for retail dealers?
Ooh, Eric, you should answer this one. This is right in your wheelhouse.
Yeah, it's you know what? Not only 2024, but beyond that, what we're starting to see, and we've been talking about it for a while, is a major shift in the automotive industry happening, where even in few cases, but now some of those service centers are starting to get built at the front now, where we used, the fixed operations used to be called the back of the store, right? Because one of the things that we're seeing is it's not only the quality of the vehicle and what's being sold, but it's also how it's serviced and how they're being taken care of that keeps the customer not only within the brand, but it keeps them within your store. So buying that first car, selling that first car is extremely important. But in order to keep that powerful word, retention, service department has to do its job to make sure that customer feels like they're more than just a customer at your store.
Yeah. And I think to piggyback off what Eric just said, is too often that they'll hire somebody back there and they'll say, "There's your phone, there's your computer, those are your texts, good luck," right? And there's no support, right? So having somebody like us to go in there and give them that support brings down that anxiety, gives that customer a better experience. To Eric's point, if that customer gets a good experience, they're going to keep having that Disney effect. They're going to want to keep coming back over and over and over again.
Right. It's like, I've heard this so many times. It's like, you should treat the fixed operation side of the business just like the sales side. You know, you're selling the service and you want the retention. You want people to keep coming back, just like you were saying.
Yeah.
One of the important things that we're working with is the education part of the service team. And this is not only for service advisors. Everybody quickly puts that service advisor title in front. It's the technician, the manager, the parts department, but learning how to have the confidence to speak in front of somebody with the language of wanting to serve is so important, because everybody's doing this 8, 10, 12 hours a day. And when you're in your 11th and 12th hour of the day, knowing your body language, knowing the confidence that you're supposed to have in serving somebody is so crucial to making sure that customer comes back. And those are some of the things we go in and do.
Definitely.
So speaking of training, where should a dealer start with their training?
Corey Smith, take him, and that's you. That is all yours. That's all you.
It's an excellent question. So you got to start with, and I'll take Eric's line from him, is you got to start with the end in mind, right? So you've got to look at, what is your end goal? What is your end result? And most dealers that we go into at this juncture don't have a menu for their advisors, or don't even have a playbook on how they're going to go do business. So we start with a playbook, which we call process development. We go in and talk to the teams. How do you want to go to business? How do you want to walk around a vehicle? How do you want to greet the customer? How are we going to give their vehicle back to them? What are you going to do when there's a problem? When it's not fixed right the first time, or we didn't find a problem to your issue, right? How are we going to handle that? So we develop a playbook, like a sports team, that they study and they practice over and over and over again, and they become better at it. And that's a good place to start. And from there, it's just finding out what each advisor is, needs some help in, some more support. It's not that they're weakened; they just don't know what they don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
That's very good. I like that.
Another question is, doesn't EasyCare do just service contracts?
Okay. That's a good question, right?
That's our big one, right? But it's more than, so EasyCare is a huge company when we think of all the things that we offer to the dealer, which is, key replacement, dent, tire, wheel, a lot of other ancillary products, windshield, fabric protection, exterior protection, right? Helping that customer in an understanding that if they want a fixed payment, right, and they don't want to come out of pocket for other things, we have other things that we can offer them to help protect their car. So it's more than just vehicle service contracts. That's obviously the biggest thing that the industry talks about quite a bit, right? But it's all those other things. You buy a vehicle that has, $1,000 rims, and you hit a curb, right? To fix that wheel, to replace that wheel is expensive. So having something to protect you on that, we'll replace that wheel for free because you've already paid for it.
And
Russell says it's all about fixed operations. Go ahead, Eric.
Oh, no, go ahead. Sorry. So one of the other things that we do from a customer standpoint internally is it's a full circle company taking care of a dealership. It's not only the products, but it's taking care of the customer, our customer, and providing training for the finance department, training for the sales department, training for their fixed operations department. So not only do we look to take care of the customer that's outside of the store, but we take care of the customer within the store as well to make sure they're prepared.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. And that has been historically, Eric, right? The kind of the bread and butter, right? Is the vehicle service agreements, vehicle service contracts that EasyCare has been known for. But now, there's so much more to that. And it's really smart to add in the fixed operations training, because that's something that a lot of companies, don't provide. And if I'm afraid to ask, do you know the number, Corey or Eric? How many dealers approximately is EasyCare in? Franchise dealers across the nation. Do you have a ballpark number on that, or
8,532?
Okay.
Wow.
Good ballpark. That's a lot of dealers that need fixed ops training, Corey.
Yeah, that's a lot. And trust me, we try to make them all, right? Eric 1 week went to Denver. From Denver, went to What'd you go to Virginia? Then from Virginia, you went to Chicago, right? All in 1 week.
Yeah, good point in the chat here. I think I saw this as well, Russell. Average car now on the road, it's gone up again, right? It was
Yeah.
12 point something years. I don't know if it's quite 14, but it's creeping up there, Corey, right?
Yeah, he's pretty close. I want to say last time I saw it, it was 12 to 13, and it used to be 6 or 7, right? When I was writing service, it was 6 or 7 years, right? You were lucky you had that customer, and then they were turning that car back in. And to Eric's point, if you're that person's turning that vehicle back in, you want them to come back to your dealership to buy a new one and start that process all over again.
So, Katrina, you go to Northwood University, as does Vanessa. And Katrina, you study automotive management and marketing, I believe.
Yeah.
And I think this past year that just ended last month in May, I believe you had a fixed operations class or two. Tell us about that and why Northwood would want to expose their students so early to fixed operations as part of the curriculum.
Yeah, so I think it's the third automotive class you take at Northwood with that major is a fixed operations class. Before that, you take like an automotive intro class and then a variable operations class. But the fixed operations class, we had a representative from CDK, Mike Stoll, who's a very good friend of Ted Ings, Vanessa and I, and just the university as a whole. And we writ up a service workflow, and we presented that to 2 local dealers around Midland, Michigan, and Saginaw, where our school is located. And we got to really learn hands-on about how a service workflow goes and the right kind of customer service you should have and why that's so important. And it's really cool that Northwood pushes that on us and we get to learn about that in the classroom, and then we get to talk about it at night like this.
So an actual class on fixed operations where you actually bring the dealers in and you present to the dealers your workflow or your proposal that you've been working on in class?
Yeah, so we did that last year, and I think, I don't know, that was not this, maybe it was. I think it was first semester this year for me. And then, so they'll be doing that again this fall with the next generation of students going into it. So it'll be fun. It's a good class, and, you know, we learn a lot from it.
All right. So, Katrina, why did you decide to go to Northwood University? Tell us about that. Give us a little, and I'll ask Vanessa the same thing.
Yeah, so my mom works for Cox Automotive and has for a while, and she has amazing connections at Northwood, and she would always talk about it to me. So I toured it, and I was like, okay, like I guess I'm gonna go here. Like I really like it, and I got super involved on campus, and I met with our professor LG Bright, who's a huge support in all things automotive on campus, from the auto show, our experiential learning opportunities, and just being a great professor. And I got roped in, and it's been the best decision I've ever made. And it's given me opportunities like this and NADA and internships and everything. So Northwood, I love it.
Yeah. So, Eric, I mean, there's not too many schools that provide all this background. When somebody graduates, you know, it's pretty clear Katrina's going to go into the automotive business, you know, one way or another somehow.
Yeah. I was at work today, and I was telling people about the school I go to, and they're like, what? Like, I was in the accounting department in the dealership. I'm doing that for this week. And I was telling them, because I just took a class on dealership accounting, and we use the CDK software, and there was reps from CDK that would come in every Thursday and teach us about it. I'm like, yeah, I learned about this in class, and like, it's pretty cool to see that you guys are using it right now and trying to teach me more about it. So
That's
just
so
that
cool.
like tie from like school to like actual life is crazy.
So we met both Katrina and Vanessa at our pop-up event last October. And Vanessa, let me ask you the same question. Then I know Eric's got some questions as well, or things he wants to add. But Vanessa, what made you go to Northwood, and where are you at in your career?
So I knew from a young school age, like early high school, that I loved marketing. And so I took 3 marketing classes in high school, and I knew for 100% I wanted to go into marketing. And I found Northwood, and I knew it was all business school. And that intrigued me because it was small, average class size 18. And it's all like-minded business students, which I thought would be a really great place to surround myself with. And so I ended up committing because of the marketing communications major, which is my major. And I ended up getting into the automotive side of things because I applied to be on the executive board marketing team. And both Katrina and I were on that for the 2023 auto show. And that opened a whole new array of connections for me, including TED and the Fixed Ops Roundtable and CDK Global, where I'm now interning. So like Katrina said, best decision I've ever made. I absolutely love Northwood and all it has to offer.
A lot going on there. Eric, I'm sorry. I cut in a couple times on you.
No, I applaud it because the fixed operations, the automotive industry opens doors, but you have to go get them. And the two people right next to you on the screen, the doors open, but they went to go get this opportunity and they maximize it. So I applaud them because a lot of people see the door and they just walk right through it. And the two people on the screen right now, they didn't open the door; they knocked down the door. So congratulations to everything you're doing. Amazing job.
Oh, well, thank you, Eric. That's a great point to make. And it's just about drive, and when you see those opportunities, you got to jump at all the ones that are possible.
100%.
All right, Katrina, for everyone who's been asking where you were the last couple of weeks, give us a real brief rundown on that.
Yeah, so I went to Europe for 2 weeks. I was in the Netherlands and in Amsterdam for like 4 nights. Then I flew to Italy. I rode around in camper vans with 14 people. We had 3 RVs. This is only half of our group, but we would climb mountains. This was a 6-hour hike we did this day in the complete snow. We were hiking through snow. The most amazing views though, but I'm so happy to be back and doing the After Dark show and the Fixed Ops Roundtable again. But look at these pictures. They're unreal. This was our hike straight into the clouds. We were really on top of the world. It was amazing.
So cool.
Wow, that is some experience. Okay. And you put all this together on fairly short notice from what I remember. Yeah. By the way, and you put together our pop-up event last October at Northwood. You've been working on something else you're putting together. Tell us about that. That's coming up a little bit later this month.
So we are having our second ever pop-up event at Northwood University, but this time it's not at the auto show. It is at our full tank automotive camp, which is the younger generation than college students. This is high school students that are interested in the automotive industry, and they will be at Northwood University for a week-long camp. And on Wednesday, we will have our Friends and Alumni Day, as well as our Fixed Ops Day. So Ted will be up there. We'll be doing lots of pop-up events, different breakout sessions, so the students can learn from industry professionals. And we're so excited. We're going to get everyone involved. Everyone's going to have fun. We're going to mix and mingle with industry professionals and campers and have lots of fun games going, and it'll be a great time. I'm so excited. I'm flying back from Maryland for that week just to be up at Northwood, and I cannot wait for it. It'll be great.
Now, Katrina, for people who can't get to Michigan that week, okay, are they going to be able to watch this online and see some of these things that we're doing here?
Yeah, of course. So we're going to be doing a lot of filming, probably a lot of different content creation and social media for it as well. So stay tuned that week if you cannot join. And then, like I said, we're going to have a bunch of pop-up events, which will be either playing as After Dark shows that we'll probably have on campus, and we'll also be in our next event, the Summer Palooza event. So it'll be a good time.
Corey, you and I were talking about it earlier. We'll find a way somehow if you folks want to be involved in that Fixed Ops Day. But it should be a lot of fun. There's going to be a lot of alumni, I think, that Wednesday, right, Katrina?
Yes, a lot of alumni and a lot of different friends from Northwood that we've built connections with through over the years.
Well,
yeah, I definitely want to hear more about it. That sounds like a lot of fun. We'd love to be a part of it.
Definitely.
All right, so Eric and Corey, let me give you the last word for tonight. What do we have to look forward to in our industry and fixed operations? What are you seeing out there? What should we be aware of, and what should our audience be keeping an eye on? I'll go to Eric first, and then let Corey bring it home.
I'll go first. One of the things that I'm seeing is I'm starting to see the beginnings of the new customer rise. I say technology, all the amenities that we have around us, whether it's click on the phone or whether we want a service immediately at our door, is rising faster than ever. And we have to be able to catch up to our fixed operations departments to make sure they deliver the same type of service that everybody else is looking for. So training has to be at its highest, educating the people at those front lines to take care of our customers needs to be at its strongest point, I think, over the next 5 to 10 years in order to make sure that you don't fall off the curb. And with that, I'll turn it back to you, Ted.
Well, Corey, how about you?
I think the biggest thing going into this year was fixed ops was going to be on the forefront of every dealer's mind, right? And I think we got to think with how the customer feels when they leave our dealership. That's going to be the most important. That's what the dealer is really thinking of. Technology is great, but it needs to be there to aid us into what the end goal is, and how the customer feels when they leave the dealership is, if they feel good, they're going to want to come back, right? And we need to teach the advisors how to give the customer a great experience on the way out.
Yeah, love it. Looking at some of the chats, I apologize getting them in late. Robert Biggs, yeah, we're planning on seeing you, so we'd love to have you there. Tony Owens, I think you're coming, Northwood, right? I think we have a room for you. Okay, I think we got that assigned. So, and Christine Farnan, yep, thank you so much. And she's a great friend of the industry, and she says, "Well said, gentlemen." So, all good and all good night, everybody. So, thank you, Eric, and thank you, Corey, for being here with us tonight. And greatly appreciate you. Wednesday night, we got a great show ahead, and we have 3 guests on Wednesday, and we're going to be talking about the aftermarket industry and some of the things that dealers can do to help curtail some of the losses to the aftermarket, including perception. So we'll talk about that on Wednesday. And on behalf of Katrina and Vanessa and Corey and Eric, I'm Ted Ings, and thank you all for being here. We'll see you on Wednesday.